Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today, our mission is all about linguistic precision. We're here to extract the gold for you.
Think of it as a shortcut. So our goal today is to give you 3 specific words that describe internal moods, profound limits, and these unique external mysteries.
Okay, so the 3 words are serendipity, ineffable, and Vellichor. All right, let's unpack this. Starting with serendipity. That's S-E-R-E-N-D-I-P-I-T-Y. It's that phenomenon everyone loves to experience, that delightful discovery you absolutely did not plan. The universe just hands you a gift.
So technically, serendipity is a noun. It refers to, well, the occurrence of events by chance in a happy or, a beneficial way.
Happy accident.
The distinction between serendipity and just plain luck or coincidence.
Okay, that's a critical distinction.
Yeah.
Because, if I flip a coin and it lands heads, that's luck.
Right.
And if I bump into my neighbor at the grocery store, that's just a coincidence. So how is serendipity different?
Well, coincidence is neutral. You ran into your neighbor, so what? No benefit, no harm. Serendipity is inherently positive.
Okay.
But the real key, and this is something people often overlook, is that serendipity usually requires some kind of preparedness or insight from the person for them to even recognize the benefit.
Oh, I see. So it's not just the accident happening. It's about having the observation skills to realize, wait a second, this random thing just solved a problem I was working on.
Yes. It's an active recognition, not a passive event.
It's connecting the dots.
Exactly. The sources really emphasize that. Pure luck is passive. It just happens to you. Serendipity is your capacity to see the fortunate accident for what it is.
Like the classic scientific example, Fleming and penicillin.
Perfect example. The mold landing in his dish, that was just luck, a random event. But his mind was so prepared by his work that he was able to recognize that the mold was killing the bacteria. That recognition, that was serendipity.
That makes so much more sense. So it's not just finding a $20 bill in an old coat pocket.
Right.
That's just luck. It's more like finding a crumpled piece of paper in that pocket with the name of a contact you desperately needed for a project, and that person actually answers your call.
Yes. That combination of the random event and the incredibly useful outcome is what defines it.
Okay, and the sources had another great example, a social one, missing a flight.
Which is, initially a terrible experience. Super frustrating.
But while you're waiting for the next plane, you start talking to a stranger, and it turns out they work in a field you've always wanted to get into.
And they give you some advice, or maybe even a lead. The frustrating moment leads directly to an unplanned beneficial outcome.
And the timing is so important. Like in the example sentence, it was pure serendipity that I ran into my old mentor at the airport just as I was looking for career advice.
It captures that dynamic perfectly. The beneficial timing, the usefulness of it, and the fact that it was completely unplanned.
If you had arranged the meeting, it wouldn't be serendipity.
Yeah.
It loses that punch.
Right. It transforms the randomness of life into something that feels, well, almost purposeful, as long as you're paying attention.
Okay, so that's the external world.
Yeah.
Let's pivot now. What happens when an experience is so profound, so intense, that it just completely breaks our ability to use language?
This is where it gets really interesting.
Yeah, because if serendipity is about perfectly naming a positive event, we're now moving to the point where words just fail. We're using a word to describe the limit of words.
And that word is ineffable, I-N-E-F-F-A-B-L-E.
Ineffable.
So ineffable is an adjective. It describes something that is, well, too great or extreme to be expressed in words. For you, the learner, this is the word you grab when wow or amazing just feels totally inadequate.
Like a linguistic shrug. I like that.
It defines the boundary where our ability to articulate just collapses.
But I'm wondering, how is that different from a word like sublime? We use sublime for overwhelming beauty, that feeling of awe. Is ineffable just a fancier version of that?
That's a really great question. So the sublime, philosophically speaking, often has this element of grandeur that inspires a bit of awe, maybe even terror. Think of a huge thunderstorm or looking out over the ocean.
Okay, I see.
Ineffable is broader. It's about the uncommunicability of the experience itself. It can be a beautiful view, sure, but it can also be a feeling of love or profound peace or even deep grief.
So it's not just the feeling of awe, it's the realization that even if I tried for 1,000 years, I could never really translate this internal feeling into words that someone else could truly understand.
Precisely. It's the private, untransmittable nature of the experience. The core of Ineffable is that point where language stops working as a tool for description.
I think we've all had those moments. You're trying to explain something to a friend, you can see they're trying to understand, but you just know your words aren't getting there, they're falling short.
Exactly. Think about extreme joy or that sudden sharp feeling of grief. That depth is often ineffable. And the most relatable one is probably seeing a truly dark, star-filled sky. You can name the constellations, you can talk about how big it is, but the actual feeling of being small and connected to all of that, it's just beyond description.
The sources gave a really beautiful example sentence that ties it all together. The sense of peace she felt standing atop the mountain was ineffable. No photograph could capture it.
And that sentence is just masterful because it shows it's not just a visual problem. A camera can capture the mountain, the image,
Sure.
but it can't capture the smell of the air, the silence, the feeling of exertion to get there, and that sudden shift in your perspective. All those non-visual things create an ineffable experience. It only exists inside you.
So ineffable is basically acknowledging that some of our most profound experiences require silence, not more words.
Yes. It gives language to the limits of language. It validates those feelings.
Okay, so we've gone from the happy external accident, serendipity, to the profound internal limitation, ineffable. Now, our third and final word, this one is, well, it's incredibly specific. It's atmospheric.
And it's tailor-made for anyone who loves old, quiet spaces filled with history.
We are talking about Vellichor.
That's Vellichor. This is for the book lovers, the people who love cozy corners and the smell of worn paper. It's a noun, and it defines an atmosphere so distinct you feel it the second you walk into the right kind of place.
And let's be clear, this is specifically about secondhand shops, used bookstores, old libraries. It is not the feeling of a brand new bookstore.
Absolutely not. Vellichor requires age. It requires history. If the walls are pristine and the books are all glossy and new, you just don't have Vellichor.
The sources really broke down the sensory and emotional depth here. It starts with the smell, of course.
Yes, the smell is foundational. It's that unique scent of paper decaying over decades, maybe mixed with some dust, old glue, a bit of leather. It's instantly nostalgic.
But it's more than just a smell.
Oh, much more. There's the visual texture, the yellowing pages, what experts call foxing, the brittle edges of the covers, the little notes someone wrote in the margins 50 years ago. You are literally seeing history.
And the sound, too, or the lack of it.
Right. Vellichor exists in quiet places. You hear the floorboards creak, the soft rustle of a page turning. That hush is a huge contributor to the overall mood.
So let me push on this a bit. If I go home and I scan thousands of old books into a digital library and I light a candle that smells like old paper, is that Vellichor?
That is a fantastic question, and the sources would suggest no.
Why not?
Because Vellichor seems to require the physical presence of shared history. It's the knowledge that thousands of other people have held these exact same objects. The mood is tied to that collective past.
That makes sense. It creates a very specific feeling. It's not sadness exactly, but it's wistful.
Wistful is a good word. The sources call it a quiet, magical kind of melancholy. It's bittersweet. And the example sentence just nails it. I spent my Saturday lost in the Vellichor of the town's oldest basement library. That one word tells you everything about the ambiance, the smell, the feeling of that afternoon.
It's just so efficient.
It is. It's efficiency and vocabulary.
Okay, so let's tie this all together for you, the listener. We've pulled 3 very specific words that can instantly elevate your ability to talk about your experiences.
First, we had serendipity, that beneficial, unplanned outcome that you have to be prepared to see. It's more than just luck.
It's activated chance. Then we explored ineffable, that sublime experience, that feeling so intense that language fails, and all you have is a powerful, transcendent silence.
And finally, Vellichor, that strange, nostalgic, melancholic vibe you only get in old bookstores, defined by the smell of decaying paper and the feeling of a shared silent history.
The real value here, the reason we did this deep dive, is application. Knowing these words lets you articulate, and because of that, honor these subtle but powerful human experiences.
Clearly.
So here is our challenge for you as you leave this deep dive.
Today, or maybe this week, try to actively use one of these words. Try to spot an ineffable moment.
It could be anything. The light hitting a tree just right, or the feeling you get when a piece of music resolves perfectly. And just say to yourself, that is ineffable.
Or, even better, go seek out a place that you think embodies Vellichor. Find an old library or a dusty antique shop. Pay attention to how that space makes you feel and see if the word fits. When it arrives, you'll be ready to name it.
Now go forth and dress your thoughts with precision.